I want to thank all of you for joining us today, and I want to welcome all of you to the third annual Phil's Day celebration. I especially want to extend my appreciation to everyone at the Foundation and beyond who have made this important and uplifting day possible. And I know a lot of students have been involved in this, and we very much appreciate the student involvement. I thank you especially for coming to hear what I know will be an inspiring talk on Life with Phil from Henry Tippie. Now, I hope you've all been able to participate in Phil's Day activities here on campus. My husband said when he woke up this morning to get his coffee and he looked out the window, there were students decorating the front of our home, which is always a little startling to see someone vandalizing your home in the morning, but in a good way. It was really quite spectacular to see the campus decorated so beautifully today. The decorations are hard to miss, but I hope you've seen and enjoyed the posters and the bows around campus, reminding us of how widespread and important philanthropy is in the life and work of the University of Iowa. Now, I hope you've also had a chance to sign a postcard today, thanking our generous supporters and donors for all they do to help us meet our goals and aspirations, and to make a UI education the absolute best that it can be. Philanthropy is what makes the difference today. There's still a lot of the day left, so continue showing your support of this celebration of the impact of philanthropy on our campus and in our lives. Lots of time left. Now, today we want our entire university community, and especially our students, to feel in very real ways the power of philanthropy and the direct role that it plays in the learning, discovery, and engagement that we practice each day here at the University of Iowa. One of the most important and rewarding parts of my job as president of the UI is building relationships with our alumni, our friends, and our donors. When I meet these wonderful supporters, I realize how passionate they are about the University of Iowa. Philanthropy is certainly about raising funds, but it's also about sharing a vision. And it's my task, as well as my privilege, to help the university and those who so enthusiastically support us come together to make our mutual dreams and aspirations a reality. Now, I have to say I am personally thrilled to have Henry Tippie with us today to share his thoughts about how his experience with philanthropy has influenced his own life and showing us how profoundly it can make an impact on our lives. We are always inspired by the amazing example of Henry Tippie. He and his wife, Patricia, who's also with us today, are not only among the most generous supporters of the University of Iowa, but they are among our most important and visionary friends. The UI as a whole is so much better today because the Tippies have not only shared their treasure, but they share so much of their time and talent in helping our university along the path to excellence. And I know that Henry has had a number of days on this campus where, as he wanders through the Papa John building, he likes nothing better than to see the fruits of his own labors. The students, you, many of you in this audience who are studying business, finance, accounting, all the things that go on over there, and doing it in the fashion that Henry appreciates so very much. So again, I want to thank Henry for joining us today and for sharing some inspiring words for us. We are also joined today by another inspiring person, Jade Monternock, who will speak about how philanthropy has had an impact on her education and then introduce Mr. Tippie. Jade is a junior from Monticello, Iowa, who will be graduating early this December with a major in entrepreneurial management. In addition to being a talented student, Jade is a leader on campus, serving as Vice President of Marketing for the Business Student Ambassador Organization in the Tippie College of Business, which assists in the college's student recruiting efforts. This year, Jade has also been a programmer for the BizHawks Living Learning Community. She serves as a student assistant in the Tippie College of Business Undergraduate Program Office. And this fall, she'll be a peer mentor for the Direct Admit Seminar in the College of Business. Jade was also chosen to participate in the Leadership Iowa University class in Des Moines this past year, which has been tremendous for developing her leadership skills. This spring, Jade is part of the first group of students from the Tippie College of Business to study abroad in Beijing and Shanghai, China for 2 weeks. Jade has been recognized for her accomplishments through a number of honors and awards, including membership in the University of Iowa Honors Program, a Tippie 21 Under 21 Award, and induction into the Beta Gamma Sigma International Business Honor Society. She's also been rewarded for her achievements through the power of philanthropy in the form of scholarships, including the Colvin Cox Scholarship, the Chester A. Phillips Delta Sigma Pi Scholarship, and of course the Henry B. Tippie College of Business Endowment Scholarship. So please help me welcome Jade Monternock.
Thank you, President Mason. It's an honor. I'm very pleased to be here for Phil's Day and recognizing the difference that philanthropy makes on the University of Iowa campus, as well as in the lives of all of our students, faculty, and staff. I'm blessed to have the opportunity to study in the Tippie College of Business. Our faculty have outstanding experience in their fields, and I'm truly fortunate to get the opportunity to learn from them. I have the pleasure of knowing our staff on a personal basis through my job as a student assistant in the undergraduate program office, and they too benefit my education. They are dedicated and passionate about helping students succeed, and their support and guidance is truly irreplaceable. The benefits I receive from our faculty and staff and the physical resources available to me are due in a large part to the generous donations of philanthropists. Our beautiful building with our own cafe, patio, library, advising center, speaking and writing center, conference rooms, and one of the largest computer labs on campus has Phil's fingerprints all over it. We have a strong sense of community in the Tippie College of Business, and it's led by our faculty and staff. During their recent employee giving campaign, 91% of Tippie College of Business faculty and staff made a donation to the University of Iowa. And although participation was strong in all colleges, I'm proud to say that Tippie had the highest participation rate, as well as very generous offers to match donations. I feel fortunate to be a part of this community that fully believes in the value of working hard, pulling together, setting high standards, and producing results that have an impact. When I started my college search, I never imagined that I would be able to afford a four-year education at a public university. However, I knew I wanted more than just an education. I wanted to be involved in a college community that I could be proud of, and I wanted to be immersed in an environment where I could thrive. Now I know that donors helped create the opportunities that drew me in, and they also make it possible for first-generation students like myself to be able to afford this college experience. Being solely responsible for paying for my education was a heavy burden, and it has been immensely lightened by the generous scholarships and grants that I have received. With a great portion of my tuition paid for and a smaller amount of student loans, I have been able to place my coursework as a first priority. This will allow me to graduate a semester early, saving even more in tuition, but not to mention saving me from an extra finals week. It is an incredible feeling to know that University of Iowa alumni and friends take an interest in our education and are willing to support us in our pursuit of our dreams. I am especially grateful to Mr. Henry Tippie. He believes in the possibilities of what we students can accomplish and has provided unparalleled financial support for our educations. Henry and Patricia Tippie's giving has been instrumental in my ability to afford my education. Every time I have written to thank him for his generous contribution to create scholarships, he has personally written me a letter back, and he has demonstrated time and time again that he is genuinely interested in the lives and goals of Iowa students. This is the third time since homecoming Mr. Tippie has made the journey from Texas to visit us, and I am very excited to have him here for Phil's Day. Henry Tippie is originally from Belle Plaine, Iowa, and in 1949 received his Bachelor of Science Commerce degree from the now Tippie College of Business. He made his first gift of $5 to the university in 1953. This gift turned into a lifetime of philanthropy and giving back to Iowa in many ways. In gratitude for his visionary support, the university named the college in his honor. And a bit of trivia for my fellow students, Pat's Diner in the Papa John Business Building is named after Patricia Tippie. Students, faculty, and staff across our campus benefit from the Tippie's giving. From athletics to business to Old Capitol, and for faculty research and student scholarships, our university is better because of their commitment to education and teaching. For his numerous contributions and longtime service to the university, Henry has received the Hancher Finkbein Medallion, the University of Iowa's Distinguished Alumni Award for Service, the Outstanding Accounting Alumni Award, and was named Hawk of the Year in 2013. He was awarded an honorary doctorate from the university in 2009 and is a lifetime honorary member of the UI Foundation Board of Directors. It is with great pleasure that I introduce and welcome Henry Tippie as our 2014 Phil's Day guest.
This is not a canned speech. I want you to just know that. Just some talking notes. Well, number one, I'm overwhelmed to see all you people here. And it's a great day. It's Phil's Day. The first thing I think about, though, when I'm up here right now, 67 years ago, I had a course over here in the East Hall. I don't know if the building is still there or it's been renamed or what, but I had to take a core course called Communication Skills. And it was taught by an instructor who was getting a master's degree in the theater department. One of the requirements in that course, and the course was either a pass or fail. There wasn't any letter grade, pass or fail. One of the requirements of the course was that you had to give a talk in front of the class. The class over there was maybe 35, 40 students. You'd be interested to know that when I gave my talk over there, I was told I'm going to have to repeat the talk, that I didn't move my mouth enough. Now, I have a small mouth. That's what the dentist tells me all the time. So I re-gave the speech. I don't even know what it was anymore, but anyway, I passed the course finally. So, but I had to do it twice. I feel like I am a beneficiary of Phil. The reason is that why did I get here? How did I get here to this university? Well, I got here because of the World War II GI Bill. And so I'm a recipient of somebody giving me the possibility of being able to go to this place. Otherwise, I think my chances of attending this university or any other college has just been about a zero. As most of you know, I'm from the farm over here by Belle Plaine, and in my particular case, parents went to 8th grade country school, and in those days, that's the end of your education. So I'm kind of a first one, I guess, flying a different way, and my mom used to always say, you need to get off the farm. World War II got me off the farm. That got me the GI Bill, and I applied for admission down here, and I was admitted on probation. So that ought to tell you something right there. Those days was quite a bit different than what you experience here today. There was a demand for dormitory housing and a wait list pretty much, and I finally was able to get into what was called the South Quad. 4 people in a room. They had 2 World War II double bunks. And when I finally got to the quadrangle, I think in the next time I was here, after the first 2 semesters, that was 3 in a room, a single bed and a double bunk. Well, being as I was the oldest, I got the single bed. So, also at that time on the campus around here, a lot of World War II clothing was worn: field jackets, bomber jackets, Navy pea jackets, you name it, khakis. A lot of that was the attire for my particular generation here. My mission, when I enrolled here, I already knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to major in accounting and get through here at the earliest possible moment. I know that some of you probably think the same way, how fast you got in, how fast can you get out? But in my case, most of us were older, and particularly the fellas. And so I wanted to also become a CPA, which meant I had to have a major in accounting. Now, I had no bookkeeping in high school, so I really didn't know much about any of that. I was here for 24 consecutive calendar months. I just stayed in school, went right around the clock. They had special veteran sessions in the summertime. And I'm proud of one thing, on the one hand, not on the other hand. I missed only one class in 24 consecutive months. That's because I had an awful cold. And I had an economics class at 2:30 in the afternoon, and I thought, I'll go back to the quadrangle. I think I'd finished that morning at about 11:30 or something. I'll lay down, and maybe I'll be able to get back over there. The problem was I woke up at 2:30. And the professor who taught the economics course, his office was right next to the classroom. He walked through that door every day at exactly 2:30. And when you came in 2 minutes later, you're absent. So I knew at 2:30, I'm over at the quadrangle. No way I can get over here to University Hall, which is now Jessup Hall. And that's the only class I missed. I did not belong to any organizations. I wasn't invited to join any. I was an absolute total unknown. My world was not a lot of people, because I just kind of passed through. I might be in with freshmen in the class, seniors, but that's the way I went through this place. And as I said, a total unknown. A little bit different today, but that's how it was at that time. And it was interesting here, 2 or 3 years ago, the university was looking around for pictures of when I attended here. Well, they didn't ask me whether there's any in existence. They couldn't find any. And the reason they couldn't find any is because there wasn't any, with one exception. When you graduated, they took your picture and put it in the yearbook. I think they call it the Hawkeye. And President Mason presented, she found that. And I understand they're getting ready to throw a lot of them out, and somebody seen that picture, and President Mason presented me that picture. And it's very interesting. On the front, it's card about like that, with a picture on there that they had taken. Had that I was self-supporting, and then on the back of it, they had my academic record. The good thing it was on the back. So I left here 65 years ago with no job, little prospects, but I did have one thing. I had a foundation. And that's what when I look out here today and I see all you young people out here, that's what you're getting here. You are getting a foundation to build on. And your education never stops in life. It just keeps on going. But that's what I left here with, a foundation. Didn't have any job, no prospects. There were very little interviewing going on at that time. And I finally went down to Yellow Pages in Des Moines, and I just went alphabetically, and finally somebody there said they're going to hire one person, and the pay was $175 a month. Now, you need to also understand the detail back at that time, which is hard to understand today. You paid income taxes on the income above $55 a month. In other words, that's $660 a year, and you started to pay income taxes. So when you got $55, anything above that, you're already paying income taxes. And the top rate was 92% at $200,000 a year. So you need to put that in perspective a little bit. And, my pay is $175. They're already taking out income taxes, and, I don't have any money. And so I lived in the YMCA in downtown Des Moines for over a year. And that's a whole nother story. 2 in a room, $3.75 each a week. And I could walk to work. I ate in cafeterias, hash houses, but the big thing was I was getting that experience. And as I mentioned to somebody earlier today, the number one thing when you have the foundation to build on, first thing is to get some experience. May not be exactly the experience you want, but it's very important to start building that experience and be comfortable. The $5 that was mentioned here earlier, I felt I'm a beneficiary. And I have always felt, ever since that GI Bill that allowed me to attend here, repayment for benefits received. And I feel very strong about repayment for benefits received. And my $5 that I contributed, that was a Chester A. Phillips Scholarship or something, I well remember that. I still have the check like everything else I've had over the years. I never throw anything away. And the check is on display over at Belle Plaine in the museum over there. The actual check, it's all over there. So anyway, but after that, a lot of things began to happen in my life and so forth. And in 1967, I established a one-year scholarship, $500. And I felt at that time the most difficult time for somebody attending college for the first time, coming out of high school, probably being away from home, kind of trying to find themselves maybe, is the first year. And so that's how I came up with a $500. At that time, that's probably much more meaningful than maybe today, but $500 in my way of thinking is still $500. And I established two of those, and they were for students in need at Belle Plaine. So that's kind of how it started. Now, as we move down the road here, on Phil. Phil did not exist like it does today back in 65 years ago. But it is really becoming, I think, an essential part of going forward here for the university. I asked here a couple of months ago, and I knew I was going to be coming for this today. I was curious about the state appropriations to the university in 1949 when I left here versus the last available statistics, which is 2013. And you'll find this of interest. The university, including the medical school and everything here, the total university, the state appropriations in 1949 of this university was 43.3%. You'd be surprised about 2013 what that's got to, 7.6%. Isn't that something? It has shrunk from 43.3 to 7.6. And if anybody questions the numbers, I'll direct you to somebody at the university who gave me the figures. But the fill, that's why this fill is such a necessity about giving back. And I have an idea for Phil, and I don't know whether it's legal or it isn't legal. But there's a lot of lawyers on this campus. They got a law school and a whole lot of other lawyers. And I'm the type of person that got an idea, well, let's figure out how to make it work. And I was thinking about this. This is a $5 bill right here. That's a good one. It's not counterfeit. And that represents also the first amount that I gave, $5. So what would happen if there was a program here at this university? There's about 30,000 students here, more or less. We just say 30,000. 5 times 30,000, I believe, is $1,500,000. And if you take return on that, let's say it's about 4.5%. I think that's what's used around here on most of these scholarships. That's between $65,000 and $70,000 that would be available. Multiply that times 10 years, and you'd probably have some growth on the first few years. you could be looking at $20 million. You put 4.5 on that, $900,000 could be available for scholarships and other things, maybe research grants or professorships. And how would you get to $5? I'm sure if you went out here and asked for everybody to contribute $5 out here, you wouldn't get a lot. You'd get some, but not a lot. So, an idea. In the January, when your new semester starts, or winter semester, whatever you call it, maybe there would be added on to your bill $5. That way everybody participates. And I know one thing, if you go rent a car, stay in a hotel room, look at your telephone bill, there's all kinds of add-ons. And I'm saying, well, why not have a $5 add-on here? And I think everybody in this room, in the course of 12 months, could you afford $5 in 12 months' time? I can't believe anybody in here would say no. So that's just an idea, and I want to throw it out because when I see this state appropriation going from 43.3 to 7.6, I also feel a likelihood is that it may shrink further. Hope not, but look, the federal government's pushing things down onto the states, and there's a big demand out here for money, and I just don't see where that's going to change. And, you know, the $5 is also what I call my breadcrumb theory in business. It's a little here, a little there, and a little there. And after a while, you get enough crumbs, and you got a slice. And you keep at it, and you get 2 slices. And after a while, you got a half a loaf. And after a while, you got a full loaf. That's my $5 theory. And think about that. Phil, it's repayment, without question. I think a lot of things go on here at this university with a lot of you, and I'm sure many of you are here this afternoon. I know you have like the dance marathons as an example. I think there's maybe some race operation. You got the Tippie build business. There's a lot of things that are being done around here that are into the give back for Phil. In my case, as time went on, I really didn't have a plan. I'm kind of the type of person is, well, I keep all my options open as long as I can, and my eyes open, and you know, the differences between that are having what I call tunnel vision. Tunnel vision, you don't know what's going on around you. And so I got involved here at a later date with endowments and scholarships, professorships, and you know, one thing led to another thing, and that led to another thing, and Henry Fund, which I'm very proud of. Henry Royer, at that time myself, was that what that got into. So I just a strong believer in. The other part of that is I want to see how things operate while I'm around. Because if I don't like how it's operating, we'll get some changes made, or we won't do anything. So, but some people, you know, they figure, well, I'll do something for the university at a later date, or when I pass away. And my thinking is, well, I don't want to do that. I want to see how it's going to run now, and if I like what's going on now, well, maybe we can add to it. Now, I fully realize that everybody is not going to be able to build buildings with their name on or a lot of other things, but that's fine. It's all the other smaller items. They add up like the breadcrumbs. The $5 plus $5 plus $5 gets into sizable amounts of money. And so you need to think about when you leave here. And I'm always mystified. People, they've got a foundation, and then they leave the university, and they never think back about ever trying to give back to the university, where they got their foundation from that helped get them launched in life. So think about that. When you leave here, don't forget the university. Just think what it's done for you. It's give you a foundation to expand your life on. Young lady here just a minute ago talked about the letters. I have a lot of scholarships here that I'm involved with. They're all over the lot. They're not only at the business college, there's some in the other colleges around here. I get letters almost without exception every year when those scholarships are either granted or renewed. Without exception, I respond to that person. And the letter will have a lot of things. All the letters are different. It will tell me in some letters about their background, about their family. Maybe they're the first one ever going to college. Or maybe they have a lot of other brothers and sisters, and just a multitude of things. And it also will have in there what their ambitions are, what they hope to accomplish in life, what their goals are, what they're majoring in here, or what all their plans are. I read those word for word, and I respond. My response is not a long letter, but certainly acknowledging their letter and so forth, but I always put one thing in there. Rewards are received, generally speaking, on the basis of effort expended. And I think anybody that's ever got a letter from me will find that in that letter. Whether it's a renewal of a scholarship grant or the first one, I always put that in there. Rewards are generally received on the basis of effort expended. So you kind of make your life out here. The students and the young adults, they are the future. It's not me. I can look back. I've already had a lot of my future. But yours is in front. And you are the future. And you are the future Phils. Certainly what you've already accomplished for Phil is wonderful. But also, it's a future. The time to become engaged is now, and a lot of you already are. Those that aren't, well, it's never too late to start. As I said earlier, there's a high number of students that seem to disappear with no give back ever here to where they got their foundation, and I think that is unfortunate. At my age, when I wake up every morning, it is a great day. You need to look at it the same way. I know one thing, that sun's going to go down tonight, and it's going to come up tomorrow morning, and things move on down the pike. So I've looked at it for a very long time as, boy, it's a great day. I'm awake this morning, and let's get underway. And, that's one of the reasons that I keep doing what I'm doing. I like what I do and so forth. I'm still here, obviously. But when I left here 65 years ago, as I mentioned a while ago, I was total unknown, no job, poor prospects, but I had the foundation to build on. And so one of the reasons that I am very supportive is I benefited from the World War II GI Bill. So Phil was at my elbow, I just didn't know it was Phil. And without that, the possibility of me being here is probably zero. The university admitted to be here on probation. I'm always very grateful for that. I was able to take the foundation and expand my horizons as time went on. So a lot of things have happened here during the past 65 years, and here I am today. And I might say I'm much better known than I was 65 years ago. I feel that I was fortunate to be born here in the state of Iowa. Spiritually, I have never left Iowa or Iowa City or this university. Physically, yes. I haven't lived in this state for over 65 years. But I'd have to say that, I still think about the university. And that's one of the reasons that we do what we do. Very grateful to the university for the benefits received and building on the foundation that I received here. Phil is very inclusive in our life, and Phil has, I feel, a big umbrella. There's a lot of room for a lot of Phils to be under that umbrella, and that umbrella is big enough to include everybody here. It can also include a lot of people not here. There's no possible way that I could have ever dreamed when I grew up on the farm of all the things that have happened to me. Again, based upon the foundation that I received here at this university. I couldn't even think about a lot of these things, didn't even know they existed. But having said that, I also think about the young people. The young people are the future. And you are the future leadership for this country and for this state and for this university. So I recommend you bring Phil into your life and build on same beyond whatever you may have done right now. I want to also say that on my journey with Phil, I've been very fortunate. I've had a partner for the last, to be 58 years next month, and my wife, Patricia, so who is here today, and so she's been part of the journey with Phil. That's very important. The other thing I want to say is this: Iowa forevermore. Will you be part of it? And I would say one other thing to go with that, which will be up to you. The best is yet to come. Thank you. I have been asked if anybody would like to ask me any questions, to spend a few minutes if anybody had any questions. Again, I don't know what the questions be, and if I don't like the question, I'm not going to answer it. But, but you can ask it. So, any questions? Well, I offered. Thank you very much.
You just discovered you got to be quick with Henry if you want to ask him a question. The good news is he's going to stick around for a while, and I suspect that many of you want to come up and offer your personal thanks and maybe get your picture taken with him and perhaps ask that question that you were shy about asking to the whole group. I want to say once again, let's all thank Henry one more time for a great presentation today. I also want to say thank you to Jade for doing a wonderful job of introducing Mr. Tippie. And thank you also to our faculty, staff, and administration colleagues who have joined us here today, as well as the UI Foundation staff and board members who are with us. And to every student who's come out this afternoon, a personal thank you from me. You have heard from someone who's very special to this university. And for many of you in the Tippie College of Business, you now have met him. Truly an incredible opportunity. I think you can now see how important it is for a generous donor to share his story directly with us, as Henry has done this afternoon. Philanthropy is about real people, both donors and beneficiaries, and about the real impacts that it makes on people's lives. So as we close today's Life with Phil event, please think about the meaning of Phil's Day. Think about and be grateful to all the alumni and friends of the university who are donors, making gifts to better your education and your work with the university. And think about the important role that giving back can and does or will play in your own life with Phil. I know many of you in this room probably receive scholarship aid or other kinds of things that happen as a result of the power of philanthropy. You now have a wonderful opportunity to personally thank Henry and Patricia, as I said, for all they have done for the University of Iowa. Join us and take the opportunity to say thanks at the reception that's going to begin right now. Again, thank you all for coming, and go Hawks.